journos back again in the bowels of the Newcastle Media Centre. We're like getting in the bowels of places. Where Eddie Howe's been speaking to the media ahead of Newcastle United's Carabao Cup clash against Tottenham Hotspur at St James's Park. We're maybe at the media centre. I've only just arrived. I missed the press conference.
Yeah, I joked that it wasn't finished an hour ago. Of course, you're off this week for people.
Poor timekeeping on my part, but not really. Couldn't let you do a video alone, Joe.
No, I always say I don't think people want to listen to me ramble on for 50 minutes.
They absolutely do.
Do you think?
Yes.
No.
But like I said on Friday when I did it with Liam, we're the Geordie Journos. We're a team.
Yeah.
We shouldn't leave. No man left behind.
I like that mentality. Journos, not journo.
Yeah, exactly.
So no, cheers for coming along. I appreciate it.
It's alright. I won't be here on Friday though. So.
No,
I'll leave you high.
I'm going to put on camera. Liam promised. So. It's no backing out now, Kennedy. See you Friday.
No slacking. So, Jordan, I haven't seen the press conference really. So, what were your big takeaways? What did Eddie Howe have to say?
Yeah, I mean, as with the Carabao Cup press conference, they're a little bit more relaxed. There isn't too much to go at, I would say. Obviously, with all the games at the minute, you're seeing Eddie Howe every other day. I sort of joked on the video on Saturday what they ask them, because as I say, it's literally, I only see him 40 hours ago. I've been maybe a bit more, but but I think the one place at the start, which was probably the theme of the press conference, was Will Osula, which isn't really a surprise given his performance at the weekend. And I mean, we spoke about it at length on the video on Saturday about his introduction, how he sort of changed the game for Newcastle United, and his energy and willingness to press really helped Newcastle get the 3 points in those closing stages. So I suppose throwing it forward a little bit, what we didn't really touch upon on Saturday's video, and this is what Eddie Howe was sort of asked about, was, we've got Will Osula there, been at the club now over a year. What is the next stage for Will Osula at Newcastle United? So in the summer, I think everyone pretty much knows now, came close to leaving the football club. Eintracht Frankfurt, or it looked like they were going to do a deal on deadline day. It looked pretty certain to happen. I think it was a loan with an obligation to buy, whatever. So, but he's still here. A blessing in disguise, Eddie Howe called it in the press conference there, because of what happened with UNPOPULAR. But the question is now, what happens with Will Osula at this football club? Does he now use this to get more minutes? Caveat that with the fact that he's got an ankle injury as well, and Eddie Howe is sort of not reluctant to use him. He doesn't want to risk him because he doesn't want to get a long-term injury. But that being said, what does the future hold for Will Osula? And I think short term, I think he's got a real role to play.
Definitely,
because of the UNPOPULAR situation. But long term, when UNPOPULAR returns, Will Osula almost drops down sort of to that third choice striker bracket, which is a role he held.
Where he barely got on the pitch unless it was against lower league opposition in the cup competitions. It's interesting because at the moment I think he has a real place to start the season. He's had a real place when Newcastle's attacking options haven't been exactly plentiful, with UNPOPULAR unavailable, and he's played that role of the berserker, as we dubbed it, and will continue to dub it, coming on and just causing chaos, wreaking havoc, which I don't think Eddie Howe liked that term necessarily. He said he wouldn't necessarily use chaos. Energy is the way Eddie Howe put it, because I think chaos probably has slightly negative connotations, but I think chaos sums him up well from a journalistic point of view anyway. So I think Will Osula has been really, it has been a complete blessing in disguise that he's still at the club. But what is his long-term role at Newcastle United? He's 22 years old. He needs to be playing regular football. We did a video last year, probably dates slightly badly, but there was definite sort of concrete argument to what we were saying, where we were saying Will Osula probably needs to leave Newcastle on loan this season at some point. And lo and behold, that's what Newcastle tried to do. So there was method in what we were saying, but I think Will Osula, when you're looking at him, like I say, 22 years old, he needs to be playing regularly, whether it's in the Premier League, whether it's abroad. Championship level, I'd like to think has maybe passed him by, but I think he'd definitely do a job at that level. Whether it's on loan or permanent, I'd probably be on the same side as Eddie Howe and maybe look at a loan. because I think as a third choice option, or maybe even pushing to be that second choice option in the future, he has got a role. It's just when the games are coming thick and fast this first half of the season, we need him on board. January, if Johan Wissa is back and fully fit, big if, then maybe you have one eye on Will Osula. Do you want to go out on loan?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I don't think Newcastle really utilised as a football club, and this is what other football clubs sort of around them do, the bigger football clubs in the division, as they do when they've got top talents and they decide to loan them out or whatever, or even sell them, and there's buyback clauses.
Yeah.
And I think that would probably be one thing I would do with Osula, is I think you can see that. I think Eddie Howe in the press conference, they actually called sort of the full package. I mean, we've always spoke really high about his attributes. That's why we sort of always spoke really, really highly of him. I mean, videos last season we used to wax lyrical about.
We do love him as a player, but
yeah.
I think we can see why he's not started a lot of games.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is. I mean, you mentioned chaos there and have negative connotations. I mean, it is sort of a negative word, if you like, but it can also be a good thing as well.
Yeah, when games need chaos, when Liverpool, that game needed chaos, Will Osula brought it. The other day, it just needed something, and he provided it.
Yeah.
So.
No, I think, I mean, I see his role last season, third choice striker, he probably falls back that way. He definitely falls back down that bracket when Wissa comes back, which is why they were willing to let him go in the summer. But I think, yeah, there needs to be sort of a coming together in January, and because I think his future will be discussed again in January, especially if Johan Wissa is back fully up and running. But I think for me, I would always like to have that option of being able to bring him back if he does develop, because as I say, his attributes there, I think, as a real player. I think you go to a division like the Bundesliga, for example, and do well, and you probably look at him in a couple of years and go, well, actually, can he come and do a job? Yeah, it would be nice to have that buyback option. Of course, it isn't always an ideal world, but I do think hindsight's a wonderful thing in football, and at this current stage now, he's definitely got a role to play. But longer term, I do think, naturally, because of the options Newcastle United have got, striker options, I do think he is, for his career, is best served away from Newcastle United. Yeah,
I think it's good to see, because I'd say probably this time last year you're looking at the £10-15 million spent on Will Osula and going, is it money down the drain? Now I think he's probably proven that sort of price target. If Newcastle were to sell him, they'd probably make a profit, as was evidenced by Eintracht Frankfurt, that obligation, which would have been in the region of 30 million.
Yeah, that was a rumored price tag.
Yeah, which
would have been a great asset at the time. Would have been a great deal.
I know, and I think probably
probably still is.
Yeah, exactly. So.
But I think, I mean, talking about his long-term future, throwing it back as well, like short-term, I think you've got to give him real credit for how he's came on, and because it must be sort of mentally tough for him as well.
Yeah.
I think he's only started one Premier League game in his time here. I think probably about 5 or 6 starts in total. So it must be mentally difficult for him. He
scored a lot of goals. He's got a good goal.
Up to a point this season,
he was
Newcastle's top goal scorer. It was 2 against Liverpool. No, sorry, not 2 against Liverpool. 1 against Liverpool, 2 against Bradford. So I think you got to give him credit. He's added sort of real value in the short term, and he's pretty much provided an option for Nick Voltemora when the game isn't quite good for him, as it wasn't on Saturday. So I think, given how probably mentally tough it's been for him as well, not playing football, I think he deserves a lot of credit. But I think he knows that his long-term future is probably best served away from here. But I mean, if he's happy to be third choice striker, that's great for Newcastle. Yeah, it's a great option to have. But I don't think he is. As I say, 22 years old now, wants to be out playing football, playing football regularly. I just don't see a situation how he gets that here unless there's injuries, which you don't want. You want your first choice.
And you look at Nick Voltemora, he's only a year older than him. Like, that's your main striker, so you're not exactly the young option anymore. I think for Will Osula, it sounds weird to have a future at Newcastle. He needs to leave Newcastle almost to then
to potentially come back
just because he's Newcastle's squad. It doesn't lend itself to developing Will Osula in the way he'll want to develop at the moment. That's the thing, but. He's a great character, great behind the scenes. I mean, Agent Osula in the summer, he played a key role in bringing Anthony Elanga to the club.
Social media's class.
Johan Wissa injury updates, that was a welcome update.
Loves Jacob Ramsey on there as well. I think that's really entertaining.
He's clearly a popular character.
Yeah, no, you can tell he's a lively soul. I mean, he got that meme, I still don't know what it is, but wins in the chat, whatever it's.
Wins in the chat.
There's a W's in the chat.
Yeah.
W's in the chat.
Me know.
Yeah. Yeah, you
too old.
Yeah, that's too old. 28, too old.
There's not much. Yeah.
But you can see he's a really popular character. I think his Snapchat's class. Seeing behind the scenes at Newcastle United's training ground when Johan Osula was lying on a bed, which is that still on the treatment table.
Yeah.
And he's getting there, which probably brings it up. So we'll go on our break first, and we'll bring a few injury updates, if we can call it that.
Yeah, I'll give credit to Will Osula. He's the sole reason I re-downloaded Snapchat, because I don't think I've used it since I was a teenager.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, Snapchat.
Yeah, I don't think I've used it too.
It's still a thing. So well done, Will Osula, keeping Snapchat alive for us oldies. But for now, here's a word from our Geordie Journos sponsors.
Comply IT Limited. Worrying about disposing of your old IT equipment? Don't be. Comply IT handle everything. Secure collection, detailed tracking, and certified data destruction. That's Comply IT Limited. All Rivers Financial Planning offer holistic financial advice for all stages of life, ensuring your plan remains robust and adaptable in the ever-changing world we live in. For 21 years, JLM Travel have been offering great deals on package holidays and cruises, plus low deposits and free kids places are available. Branches at Maingate Team Valley and Front Street Wickham. RJ Building Surveyors is a trusted RICS accredited family-run firm with over 15 years of experience specialising in residential surveys and valuations. Based in Yorkshire, their expert services extend nationwide. Whether buying, selling or seeking peace of mind about your home, they've got you covered.
So those were our 4 Geordie Journos sponsors, links in the description below. There's also the Geordie Journos shop, which if you want any merchandise ahead of Christmas, check that link out as well. And if you want to partner up with the Geordie Journos, sponsor us, what do we do, Jordan? What do you email?
Please email geordiejournos@gmail.com. I'm glad I found a role in these videos now to give out this Gmail. But no, please do get in touch if you do fancy sponsoring the Geordie Journos.
Yes, and looking ahead to Spurs' big game, of course, there's an argument which was the biggest game. I know that was something asked of Eddie Howe. When you're looking at the Champions League game, the Premier League game, and now the Carabao Cup game, all at St James's Park, Spurs undoubtedly a big game. What's Newcastle's team looking like going into it though, Jordan?
Yeah, so I think it'll be largely unchanged. The only doubt, if you can call that, Sven Botman. Nasty cut to the head, Eddie described it, or nasty looking cut to the head, Eddie Howe described it in there. Forced them to come off against Fulham on Saturday. Fabian Schär comes on, performs really well against Malik Chow. So I think maybe that's an opportunity there to try that new look centre-back partnership. Stitches required for, or staples, I think Eddie Howe said. Staples required for Sven Botman, which was painful, that one.
Yeah.
So I suspect even though he might be in the squad tomorrow, maybe you'd bring him out with a start then. I don't think you want to be heading balls when you've got staples in your nuts.
Stapled heat. No, I thought it was interesting because I asked Eddie Howe about Sven Botman on Saturday. Was it Saturday's game? Yeah. And he spoke very highly of Fabian Schär in the same sort of answer group, where he was Fabian Schär obviously being frustrated, not played a lot of games since his concussion, but came back in and was really, really good off the bench. He helped Newcastle alongside Malik Chow just push those 10 yards further out the pitch, get on the front foot, and that gave them the momentum to finally grab the winner in that game. So Fabian Schär for me, his 200th Premier League appearance for Newcastle as well. He'll come back in the side in my opinion, and that, judging on what Eddie Howe was saying about Fabian Schär, and then indeed Sven Botman following that up this morning. And then, do you want to get on that?
I tried to do me predicted 11 last night. I'm struggling to what you'll go with.
There's no new injury boosts.
No, so Lewis Hall is the closest to returning, but the game will come too soon for him. So they'll have a look again ahead of West Ham. I suspect he'll be back in for that one. Team Livramento, as much as it's positive that he's back on the grass, is still looking towards the end of November. Eddie Howe mentioned the Manchester City game for that one, which I think's 25th of November, around about
22nd,
that time. Marseille is 25th, Man City the 22nd, and then Johan Osula wouldn't commit to a date for him.
You gave him about 5.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
And he still wouldn't commit to anything.
I made that much game, Eddie, please just tell us the team. But yeah, and he joked about it actually. He was like, well, you've named every game now. Well, that's what.
But I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's not sure, yeah. So I think we've always said there's sort of niggling feeling within us that I think Johan Wissa will be back after the international break rather than this side of the international break.
Erring on the side of caution, which is probably a good thing for Newcastle given how long he's been out. If you get him back beforehand, then does he go away with DR Congo during the international break, and then
exactly.
He's out of your hands. He's not your player to manage at that point, and as we know from the September international break, anything can happen. Yeah. So I think just to be safe, Newcastle might go, no, we'll just get him right for that Man City game or for the Marseille game. So
Agreed.
Yes. So how we're lining up for Newcastle, basically?
Yeah, I mean, it's the difference between sort of a predicted 11 and 11 I would name. Predicted one I would struggle to name. The team I would go with, I think you bring Ramsdale in. I think he deserves the. He doesn't deserve to be.
Make him the Carabao Cup goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think so. I think you should.
It's not a dip in quality by any means.
No. I think the only thing I would say about Ramsdale is I'm not sure how he deals with a lot of balls in the box. Going on a bit of a tangent.
It's been brilliant. Huh?
Football this season has just been like proper route one. Every team in the Premier League's taking long throws. Every corner's being pumped in the box. Is Aaron Ramsdale comfortable collecting balls? You'd hope so for a goalkeeper. But
that's where Nick Pope has been so strong this season. Actually, yeah, you make a good point.
So, but I'd still put Ramsdale in. So he had his cut out against Bradford.
Did Spurs score 2 set pieces the other day?
They certainly did. Everyone's scoring set pieces in the Premier League now. It's just all long balls. Mikel Arteta is. I'm not going to give him credit for it. Just football's changed. Football's changed again. Went back to Tony Pulis' days.
Tony Pulis will be loving life. Yeah. He'll be like, I'd be an elite manager. If I was in the Premier.
You got like Dan Burn practicing long throws.
Tony Pulis walked so Mikel Arteta could run.
I like that one. Yeah. You should coin that somewhere.
I don't care if that's not enough. So yeah.
Sorry, tangent. Yeah. At Ramsdale and goal, I think you keep Trippier as your right back.
A lot of football for Kieran.
It is a lot of football, but I think if he's all right, I think you play him.
Yeah.
Centre halves, Chow and Shea.
Yep.
Left back, probably have to be Dan Burn again. There's no one else. Midfield 3, I think Bruno gets a rest if I'm being honest.
Put Tonali back in.
Yeah, I think Tonali goes back in. And then you're looking at Lewis Smiley. I think maybe on that Bruno role.
Okay.
Now on the left hand side, I was thinking everyone might be thinking, Jacob Ramsey will come back in, but I just don't think Jacob Ramsey offers, because he's an attack minded player, offers enough defensive protection for someone like Dan Burn at left back. And I think at Tottenham you've got to be able to defend. So I think maybe Joe Linton stays back in the team because he does give you that bit of protection.
Yeah, I remember last season he played a key role in 2 goals, didn't he? Against Spurs, where he won the ball back
with a
handball, and then back at St James's Park he did that turn to release Jacob Murphy, who scored.
Yeah. On that midfield 3, do you put Ramsey and Joe Linton? I'm just thinking because both players like to play on the left hand side of the midfield. That's why Joe Linton probably gets a nod for me, because of that defensive protection. And then the front 3, I think probably should stay the same: Gordon, Voldemort, Murphy.
Yeah.
Although Harvey Barnes will feel like he's in a start, but
Murphy will go, well, I've scored and assisted.
Exactly.
2 starts.
And Anthony Gordon, as much as I still think he needs a performance in the Premier League or in a domestic performance, I still think stays in the team.
Yeah. So minimal changes really. Bruno potentially comes out.
Yeah.
I think Bruno's too important. I'd get Miley out as much as he's done well the past few games. I think the Bruno, Tonali, Joe Linton, get that midfield back, fit and firing again.
Yeah.
And this is an important game, which moves us on to the next point. Like, you're looking at the last 3 home games, including the one just coming up. 3 different competitions, all at St James's Park. What's the priority?
The priority is just
win them all.
Win them all. Yeah, I mean that's probably cliche, but no. What is the priority? It's a tough one, but I do think this game is hugely important. Really, but you're 1 game away from a quarter-final again. That's a really strong habit to have.
I'd say by definition it's the most important. If you lose it, you are out of the competition.
Yeah.
Whereas the other ones you can lose and still recover, or even draw and still be fine. You don't win this one, you're out. You go home. And Newcastle's Carabao Cup legacy and retention effort is over.
So in that sense, it's probably the most important, because at least you had lost to Benfica. I mean, you've got a few games to try and catch up.
It's frustrating. Yeah.
The league, again,
it would have been a massive blow.
It would losing on
a mentality thing.
That would have been
huge.
It would have been grim. Looking at the league table, actually. I was thinking the match. That was after the Sunday games. I remember looking at the league table. Oh God, when Newcastle hadn't won, you'd be looking at like 10 points or whatever it was, and it's like 16th. And I'd say, oh. But I just think this game is massive. To get in the habit of getting a quarterfinals, which they've done every time on Eddie Howe in this competition.
Eddie Howe referenced it. That Chelsea game 2 seasons ago probably should have got through there. And would have had a decent chance of getting in the final.
Yeah. But the Carabao Cup, I think, is still a really important competition. I think the point was made in the press conference, because it's the first sort of competition you can win in the league season. I think it has its place on the calendar. And as I say, Newcastle the whole does. You look at the win against Spurs tomorrow. You're in the quarter final again. You're only one game away from still in the semi final. Like you're actually already within touching distance of Wembley. And you want to get back there.
It's a nice habit to get into. Not necessarily, winning trophies obviously a nice habit to get into. Newcastle need to get into that habit first of all. But just getting in the latter stages of competition. We spoke about the Carabao Cup. They've been in the last 3 seasons under Eddie Howe before this season. Potentially 4 seasons in a row. They're the best. Since Eddie Howe's took charge, they're the best performing team in this competition, and that's not a bad thing. Getting used to being in the latter stages. The FA Cup probably needs to improve. Eddie Howe recognises that, but they've still been in a quarter final of the FA Cup, close to a quarter final last year, and getting in the latter stages of these competitions is a good thing. And I'd back Newcastle, because they take this competition seriously, which is one thing. Eddie Howe referenced, beating Chelsea last year. They beat a second string Chelsea team who perhaps weren't taking it as seriously as Newcastle were. But ultimately it sets you up. Then you take it one step at a time. You probably get a tough team, a very tough team, sooner rather at some point anyway, and then it's anyone's game.
Yeah, bring it on. I see, because they got Arsenal in the semi-finals last year, and I didn't expect them to get past Arsenal. Yeah,
they were brilliant.
I mean, keep looking too far ahead, but there's still a couple of League One teams in that. Championship. Oh no, there is a League One team. The game I'm referring to was Cardiff Wrexham. Yeah. You look at one of them in the quarterfinals, but of course tomorrow is, because Spurs
tough game. Spurs will have a similar mentality.
Beaten away from home, at least on English. I don't know about European, but on English.
Well, unbeaten in the Champions League, so yeah.
There you go. Yeah, so Thomas Frank team, they're always difficult ones. Already had a very good record at Thomas Frank. I was looking yesterday.
Yeah.
Only lost once against them in how many games?
Game.
It was the rain and the wind.
Weather.
Yeah, exactly.
It's windy, the weather's grim today, which is why we're inside. But
fingers crossed. I think at home, big game under lights. I think Newcastle will get the job done tomorrow.
I just think Spurs will have a similar mentality. They got to the semi-finals of this competition last season. Just the fact that we're not very good and came up against a good Liverpool team probably stopped them getting in the final. They won the first leg though, didn't they, actually? They just got battered the second.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
So Tottenham will take this seriously, because they're in a similar boat to Newcastle, where not really winning trophies, but then broke that drought last season. They'll be hungry for more. And Newcastle have found the groove in the Carabao Cup. Hopefully they can continue that on Wednesday night. And we'll be there, joined by Liam Kennedy.
Yes, they'll be as a trio.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So we'll be there on Wednesday night. I'm still enjoying my week off, but Newcastle keeps pulling me back.
Classy gesture by you coming out today, and also a classy gesture going to match tomorrow.
Yeah.
And doing a half day.
What a tough life.
Half night.
What a tough life during my holidays watching the team. No, but we'll love it, and we'll be there at St James's Park tomorrow night. Please, if you like what we do, please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe and ring the bell for all your latest Geordie Journos content. Thanks for watching.